sketchbook, just to show you a couple of examples here. And so I'll be working on a concept, or I'll just be trying to get some painting time. So I'll do some sketches of some people with backgrounds, and every once in a while I'll run across a thought that I think is particularly rewarding. So I'll capture that in the pieces in the book as well.
The one thing that I have noticed about you is that you're very prolific, and I think it's extremely important for an artist to continue his craft and do it every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'd like to take this sketch. I like the action of this sketch. I like the movement of the people. I'm going to take and try to repeat this in a little larger format. And in my process, I would start my sketchbooks, go to something like this, and then I would land on a larger piece. This is a half sheet of 140-pound Arches watercolor paper. That's kind of my sweet spot. I like 90-pound too. I'll do a lot of 90-pound demonstrations in my workshops. So I'm going to do this sketch today. We're going to develop that up into a painting. That's where I think we start. So.
And what type of materials are we using? You've got some Graeme paints?
I do. I have some here paints. I've got some Graeme paints that I'll be working with today. I also have some Daniel Smith. Yep. These are my two favorite lines of watercolor paints, and I paint with them all the time. I like the granulation I get out of Daniel Smith, and the color and the way that Graeme will wet up repeatedly as it sits in my palette. Both these brands are awesome, so I recommend them and I use them. And I paint almost exclusively with Princeton art brushes. Today I'm going to be using Neptunes, and I'm also going to be using Elites. Maybe a little bit of, mostly those two brushes. They are great. They have great water holding capability. They maintain their shape, and you'll want a blue and a red in it, and it will granulate, and I love that. And that top wash on those buildings is that rose ultramarine. So let's get after that. When I start, I wet my paper just a little bit with some water, and then I will hit the initial wash. The initial wash I'm going to hit up is this building shape up here, building my rose. Let's get that going. Let's take that down just a little bit with indigo. And I want this one to be a really wet kind of wash. So here we go. And I'm trying to make this in my workshops. I don't sketch my drawings. I like the activity and the life I get in trying to produce the painting fresh. So my initial washes going down will be the washes that will direct me through the painting process. I'll get a little bit more rose, a little bit more indigo. And I'm just going to hit this down here a little bit and let that trail down like that. Put a little. This is like an English kind of building, and they have these little peaks on the ends.
Mm-hmm. So whereabouts is this actual scene?
I think this is a building that is on the campus of University of Denver. And then I'll just wash this down a little bit, like this. And now I'm going to let that wash just kind of percolate and settle in. I'm going to come over here and get some of this quinacridone and drop a little bit of warm down here, because I've got this cool color coming down the page, and I like that. I like those little jewels of light that are right down there, so I'm going to keep that and drop a little bit more water in here and let that kind of just bleed down to the bottom of the page, like that. Now I'm going to try and bring these two together, and I'm going to lighten this whole midsection down, because I'm going to set my people. I'm going to set these people onto this zone right here, along with these car marks. I'm going to make a little bit. I'm going to try to get a little more definition out of that as we do this painting. So let's get some. I'm going to mix these two colors a little bit, that purplish and that brown, and just kind of come right down this page like this.
You're not pushing that brush in, you're just letting it float over the top.
Yeah, I like to, and that's what I love about these Princeton brushes is that they're very pliable and they're great for doing these washes, these quill brushes that way. Okay, so now I've got that coming down the page, and I'll. Yeah, like that.
You've got one of your pieces I really like. It's called "It's 5 O'clock Somewhere," not just because of the connotation with the title, but just the reds and the yellows in that. It's a great piece, and obviously everybody's going somewhere on Friday if that's the case.
Sure. Yeah. So how I achieved that was I did an underpainting of just I think it was Azo yellow and a red, or probably I don't remember which red it was, but I did the underpainting in that red, and then over the top of that I put some darker colors, greens and indigos, and then scraped back or left areas of the painting still in those colors and carved out the figures around so that the red and the yellow just popped off the page in that example.
Yeah, it just fires at it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so now I've got my figures in, I've got my color indication in. And I'm gonna pick up this tree over here, over there, and then I'm going to maybe what I should do is spend some time on that building a little bit. I'm gonna draw that down a little bit more.
Graeme,
You did that.
if you can just move back to where you were, because you just cut the painting off.
Because I'm just trying to.
Yep, you can reach. And smiling, and action.
All right, folks, a fantastic day in Central City in Colorado. It's an amazingly historical town. Steve?
Graeme, thank you so much.
No, thank you. One of America's great master watercolor artists, and it was a great privilege for us to be here today. And as you can see, it's sort of like less is more sometimes. You don't have to force it, and if an artist knows exactly what he's doing, the picture just seems to grow out of the piece, doesn't it?
It does.
It's quite amazing. Now, if somebody wants to come along and particularly go to your workshops, if you're in the Colorado area or any of the states around and you'd like to come and see Steve, your website address is?
SteveGriggsWatercolor.com.
Yeah, come in. Lots of other things going on Steve's website, and Sue, his darling wife, helps him to manage all that. They are a very fantastic team, to say the least. We're going to continue to move on. Colorado, beautiful state.
Yes,
absolutely glorious. This little town is quite amazing. It really is fantastic. As we always say, remember, make sure you put some colour in your life. And we'll see you again next time, guys. Bye now. See ya. There you go.
That's it.
That was easy, wasn't it?
That was easy.
Cool bananas.
Cool bananas.
That's fun.
Well said.